My sister-in-law's prank on my husband went wrong. Now he's the bad guy. He's Billie Eilish?
I'm the bad guy.
Thinking about not attending my brother's wedding because of his fiance's prank on my husband. I am 25 female. My husband is 30 male. My brother, 32 male, and his fiance, 31 female, recently came to visit us in our city. My partner and I are now new homeowners, and they were staying with us for the first time. By the way, this comes from user Natural Grocery 3159 on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. My brother's fiance loves Halloween. She's also a Disney adult and has a childlike side to her, which comes out sometimes. She's just super absorbed when it comes to her interests. Anyway, I'm just sharing this for context because my perspective is that she often gets carried away, and I genuinely feel what I'm going to describe was the result of one of those moments where she just took it too far and suffered some negative consequences. She is, however, taking it as a very personal attack. So we disagree, and the disagreement resulted in my husband cutting their visit short, aka they were asked to leave. 31 female has made comments more than a few times now since meeting him that my husband gives off a dark vibe. She's always comparing him to characters from various books she reads. It's not necessarily criticism. She always explains that they are compliments, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her reasons for these comparisons are based on his looks, the general vibe he gives off, and his tattoo. He only has one, but it's on his hand.
Okay.
During this recent visit, she mentioned she would love to see someone like him get scared because she can't imagine him getting startled or letting out a scream. Scaring him became her goal during her stay with us. None of us knew about it, not even my brother.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
The incident causing all the trouble is that she tried to jump scare my husband in the garage. It was dark and she ambushed him in the garage while wearing a full outfit and mask while he was returning from a run. Well, he didn't let out the scream that she wanted. He instinctively reacted by shoving her against the wall. She hit her head and was quite shaken up. Luckily, he realized very quickly by the sound that she made that it likely wasn't an intruder. He switched the lights on and pulled her mask off. He told me he was very confused in the moment because why would she attack him?
Yeah, facts.
My husband helped her inside, apologized, made her tea, and then called me. I was out with my brother. When we got home, I asked 31 female if she was okay and said her prank was stupid to do because she could have gotten seriously hurt. I don't know if it was what I said that bothered her or if she was just waiting for her partner to come home, but she launched into crying about how my husband used an excessive amount of force, knowing it was most likely just her doing a harmless prank. No.
Come on.
That's all I have to say about that.
Honestly, maybe he didn't use enough.
No. In a nutshell, my husband asked her straightforwardly, "Are you implying that I intentionally assaulted you?" She hesitated, but chose to say yes. And my husband responded to that with, "Get out of my house."
Yeah. He apologized and made you tea, and that's what you're going to say? He didn't mean to.
Yeah.
The heck?
Come on. That's honestly so out of pocket. I tried to smooth it, but my husband was adamant. If that's what she genuinely believes, she's not welcome to stay. And 31 female chose to stick to her accusation. I decided to stick with my husband. My brother is angry with me, and he thinks I should have tried to do damage control and let them stay by convincing my husband to lean more into apologizing and placating his fiancée, who was just recovering from the situation. He thinks this whole thing would have been blown over if I'd helped my husband fold. I find this unfair, as do I personally. My brother was counting on me to handle all of this, yet he didn't speak up during the conversation or try to talk sense into his fiancée. My husband remained calm the entire time, but he obviously felt insulted by her remarks, and I think that that's valid. Why should I have taken my brother's fiancée's side over my own husband, especially when I feel like she was wrong for doing all that, then turning around and accusing my husband of wanting to hurt her on purpose? That's the most crazy. That's the important part. It's like, why would you even want to stay here then?
Yeah.
If you truly think that he did that on purpose, wouldn't you want to leave?
Yeah.
So yeah,
people aren't. No, there are no sense here. No sense happening.
Nonsense. My brother says that I was short-sighted and I should think of their upcoming wedding, but I think he's the one who needs to get his fiancée to apologize to my husband. Edit in an attempt to answer some things that are getting lost in the comments. I would like to clarify, when I meant I tried to smooth the situation, I was not taking 31 females' side. I hate that that's what her name is, by the way. I'm sorry.
We could give her a name. We don't have to
It's
call
too
her that.
late. Now we're almost at the end of the story
I
at
guess
this
so.
point.
E1F. 3 for E, 1 for I, F for female.
Iwanov. I was not taking Iwanov's side or doubting my husband in any way. I simply tried to get everyone to consider tabling this until emotions had cooled down. And by those emotions, I mean the hysterics of my brother's fiance. My husband was calm throughout, although there was an obvious finality about his decision. He made his statement and disengaged. As mentioned, my brother looked to me hoping I'd persuade my husband, but I didn't, so they had to leave. I mentioned in a comment that I didn't get an opportunity to ask that night if she bought an outfit specifically for this prank or if it was my brother's Halloween costume. They go to adult Halloween parties and we're attending one this weekend 2 hours from where we live. It's part of my brother's costume, a mask, a golden masquerade one, but more coverage, reminded me of the gold jeweled animal masks from Squid Game or something you'd wear to a Rothschild party in the 70s. And she had on a long robe / cloak with a hood. People asked me to update, and I'll do that. Please look at my comments too in case I already answered a question you might have, but I think those two were the ones I saw pop up the most. I'm sorry I can't keep up with all the comments. I really tried. I'll be showing this thread to my brother. And we have an update. I don't think she's going to apologize. I don't think she's got the maturity for it.
Or the brain cells, dude.
Clearly, this was a complete accident.
It was. And she's like, oh, it was actually your fault that I dressed up and scared you and you decided to defend yourself.
All right. That's why it's absurd. Anyway, so here's an update with just a little bit of context on top. My husband told me that he was gentle and understanding, but once she was seated and started to calm down, he made it very clear to her that her actions were reckless and could have led to serious harm. It's my personal opinion that she didn't like the change in his demeanor and being told off because it meant she was no longer the victim, but the transgressor.
She didn't like taking the blame.
In a crappy attempt to get herself out of the hot seat, she decided to accuse my husband of using excessive force, implying that he intentionally assaulted her, even though she was the one who initiated the whole situation. This led to an emotional reaction from my brother and heightened the tension between him and my husband. My husband was zero tolerance about the theatrics, the future sister-in-law in hysterics, and my brother getting riled up about it, and he kicked both of them out. You can read the details of the first post here. Okay, then here's the update. The first update was literally all context. And here's update 2, which is really update 1. Okay. I tried to talk to my brother multiple times after the incident, but each attempt ended in silence because I refused to give in to his demands. He wanted my husband and me to apologize to his fiance, starting with me downplaying the whole situation so that she wouldn't feel bad about her prank. I hesitated to send him the Reddit post I made. Initially, I thought it might work against us to make things worse, but his total inability to reason with me or see the situation for what it was became beyond frustrating. Since I couldn't physically deliver a cold, hard slap to his face for asking me to be complacent in allowing my husband to be falsely accused of assault, I figured the next best thing would be for him to read all your comments.
Oh boy.
Following the advice I got here, I tried to get ahead of the situation by informing my parents. My dad, a reasonable and practical man, immediately sided with my husband.
Good. You got to inform the parents ASAP when stuff like this happens.
Practical. His comments were similar to what a lot of people here had said, focusing on how dangerous and reckless the prank was and the ramifications of being falsely accused of assault. My mom, who unfortunately has always favored my brother, suggested we at least hear her out, referring to my brother's fiance, Iwanov. As livid as I was about her reaction, I wasn't surprised by it. My dad did try to shut down her skepticism, but she remained on my brother's side for a few days until I showed them footage from my brother's Tesla, which he had tried to delete.
Let's freaking go.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you.
This is perfect.
The Sentry thing, sorry if I'm using the terminology incorrectly, I'm not a Tesla owner, recorded part of the interaction in the garage. Not the jump scare itself, but the aftermath, which in my opinion was more crucial. My husband's account was confirmed. He used a measured amount of force to immobilize her and was prepared to escalate if necessary, which is beyond generous for someone to do in a situation like that and definitely not owed. Many of you speculated that she might have a fixation or even a crush on my husband.
I could see that.
And I'm starting to reconsider some past interactions with that in mind. Wow, I didn't think about that at all. That's an interesting take. Might be true. I also misunderstood what dark books she expressed she enjoyed and compared my fiance to.
Oh yeah, because he has a dark side to him.
Oh wait, is it gonna be? Is it gonna be like just a smut book?
Him.
Just a book full of smut.
Ooh.
Just a dark fairy. He's a dark fairy.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. He's a dark, hot, sexy fairy. I learned from comments here that they are actually a subtype of romance genre. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know she was comparing him to characters in romance novels because one of the characters I recall her comparing my husband to was from a book about dragons. I genuinely wish I could still remember the names of various characters she'd mentioned over the months so I could satisfy my own curiosity, but my brain glossed over the names during conversations. We have a group chat for the wedding, which includes my brother, my parents, my brother's fiance, and her parents. In that chat, I addressed the incident, but didn't share the Tesla footage, only mentioned that it exists. Her parents didn't respond in the chat, though I know they saw the message. Later, her mom called mine. Apparently, they had no idea about the prank. It's hard to say whether they believe me or if they've taken their daughter's side after speaking with her. My brother's fiance and my brother have both extended apologies to my husband and have requested our presence at their upcoming wedding. My parents, trying to keep the peace, have encouraged us to go, saying it's the honorable thing to do. So for the sake of family formality, we've decided to attend. However, my husband has made it clear that we'll be there out of obligation. We will be keeping a distance from them going forward. We haven't explicitly stated it, but there will be no future invitations to our home, not even for the holiday dinner we had planned before all of this happened. My husband is going to minimize all future interaction with my brother's fiance, and I don't think we'll ever trust her again.
True.
I'll try to spend some one-on-one time with my brother to gauge where we stand. Our relationship feels strained, and this incident has made me realize that I lost him to her a long time before this happened.
Oh, yeah.
Something that I hadn't fully recognized until now. Thanks for everyone for sharing your opinions. A reporter from a news outlet reached out to me, and I remembered requesting that if anyone uses my story, I would like them to pass on the following sentiment. I hope that if you share my story, you can help highlight the dangers of ambush-style pranks. These types of pranks create a threatening environment and put everyone involved at risk of serious harm or injury. They're stupid and dangerous. No one should have to feel threatened or be put in a position where their safety is compromised for the sake of a prank. If that's the setup, then it's not a prank. Actions like these will always have consequences, some of which may be irreparable, and no prank is worth the risk of someone getting hurt. And by the way, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile and it's not going to hurt you.
Go for the week. Go for the week, he says.
Jump scare somebody who can't throw you through a wall, for God's sake.
The weaklings.
Is that, the people that's reasonable, right?
The people that have no self-defense. The people that are defenseless. If you are a person that's pranking, go after people that are defenseless and cannot take you over.
Yeah, sure.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
Yep.
The prank was innocent. The woman is dumb.